Hello, my name is Mr. Gatens. I'm here to talk to you about A-level film studies, which we teach at Bedlington Academy. We've taught this for over 8 years at this school. We've had a great deal of success. I'm going to outline what you will do on this course. I'm going to talk to you about why you might find it interesting. I'm also going to talk to you about where this course could lead in relation to your career aspirations. A-level film studies is comprised of 3 components. Component 1 and Component 2 are exam-based components. Component 3 is a coursework production component. Component 1 looks at the following: Hollywood film from 1930 to 1990, and you compare the differences between classical Hollywood texts and modern Hollywood texts. We then look at American film since 2005. We then look at British film since 1995. Some of the texts that we've looked at in the past: Trainspotting, This Is England, Vertigo, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Casablanca. We look at a range of texts. You look at these texts in relation to the theoretical frameworks outlined in the course, and we also look at them in relation to the technical elements and consider how these texts have been constructed. In Component 2, we look at the following topics: global film, which entails looking at films outside of the Hollywood machine. We look at documentary films. We look at film movements and how different film movements have shaped the development of film through history. And we also look at experimental films. Some of the texts that you look at are Pulp Fiction, Sunrise, The Arbor, which is a documentary film, and some global films such as Wild Tales and Life is Beautiful. The production element is a choice between the creation of a film or the creation of a screenplay. Again, we've had great success within the coursework element of this course. It's an element I love teaching because it's very creative. We get to learn how films are created and then try to apply them to our own creations, whether that be the creation of a film screenplay or potentially the creation of a short film. Film studies is certainly a challenging course. Some students in the past have erroneously believed that to study A-level film studies is simply to watch films. It is certainly not the case. It is an analytical subject. You are required to write about film in an analytical way. You are required to examine film and examine a film text and consider what makes it a great work of art. You look at film in much the same way as an English literature student might look at a novel. You consider how it has been created, you consider the meanings that are being conveyed, you also consider how it will impact the audience. We look at many different theories and theoretical perspectives, such as feminist theory, such as Marxist theory. We look at auteur theory, which is the theory that the film director is the central creator of film, and we try to apply those theories to the films that we study. This can create a great deal of interesting discussion. It can also create a great deal of interesting opportunities to analyse the text. I really do enjoy teaching A-level film. It's a very challenging course. It's a very interesting course. It's a very engaging course. Students who study A-level films basically across the board have expressed their passion for this subject. Not every student who starts the course is an obsessive film fan, but as we go through the course, as we learn more about film, as we learn more about this medium, as we learn more about what makes film such a unique art form, I've always found that students become extremely engaged with the topic, and I think that's one of the most rewarding aspects of teaching A-level film studies. We learn so much about the technical creation of film. We learn so much about the contextual factors which impact each film and which mould the film into the finished product that we see on the screen. We learn so much about how film can impact the audience, and as a result of that, I see students formulating some really sophisticated and really intelligent ideas based around films, and it's very rewarding seeing those same students who maybe at first passively watched films and didn't necessarily analyse the meaning behind certain frames, certain camera movements, certain sounds on the film, and then suddenly they are talking about these films eloquently and with real passion and with real confidence. That's probably what I enjoy most about teaching film studies. Film studies can lead to a range of career opportunities. Obviously, the one that springs to mind for many people is to work within the film industry, and this course will help you prepare for that, and it could lead you to go on to study film at university or potentially get an apprenticeship within the film industry. But also, it does give you skills that are transferable. It could lead to journalism, it could lead to a career in the arts. It is a humanities-based subject, so if you are planning to go on and do a humanities degree, then film studies is certainly an option that you should consider. There is an expectation for you to write eloquently and analytically about the film text, and that can obviously lead to a number of different subjects, for example, English literature or history. Another option that you might want to consider is if you are, for example, going to study a STEM subject, then you might want to study film studies as a creative outlet, and that could be, for example, your fourth topic, just because you're interested in film and just because you want to learn more about film as an art form. So there's lots of different things that you can apply film studies to. Film studies is a really engaging subject. We've had great feedback from students who've studied it in the past. If you are interested in film, I think it's definitely an option you could consider. If you want any further information, come and find me in the English corridor, or alternatively speak to the head of sixth form or your form tutor, and we'll arrange to have a discussion, or I can communicate via email.